Hey guys, welcome to today's video on how to identify and manage negative patterns in our relationships. I'm Indira. I'm the author of the book You, a Spiritual Being on a Spiritual Journey, a New Paradigm for Living Life. I'm the founder of the practice of connecting, the next level in self-help, the step beyond meditation. And I'm a coach in guiding you in connecting to yourself through my 4-step method of connect, listen, trust, and act. So let's get started. How do you identify and manage the negative patterns in your relationships? So today we're going to cover two core aspects. And it really lives in having a shift in awareness around your relationships. So, first of all, identifying those patterns is through seeing how your mind gets triggered. So, let me talk a little bit about that. So, in the practice of connecting, I talk about that the mind is the part of us that literally has us get triggered in life about situations that come up in our life. And so in our relationships, when our mind gets triggered, these are the things that happen. We're annoyed. We're distant. We feel like the other person doesn't really care about us. See, for most of the time in our relationships, we're unaware of these mind triggers because what it looks like is it's the other person that's doing something to us. I'm going to pause there for a moment and I want you to really think about it. Think about those relationships. It could be your spouse, your partner, your lover, your sibling, your child, a friend. Think about how it really looks like it's them. I really want to get this point into you. This is the first practice you could take on that would identify and manage negative patterns in your relationships. You want to begin to see that the first and most powerful thing that's happening is that there's something that they're doing that's happening to you. And that literally you have zero control over what's happening. It's not happening to you. Your mind is getting triggered. And until you could get that your mind is getting triggered, you're feeling like they're doing something to you, or you're helpless in the situation, or it's happening to you. And what happens, guys, is the mind tries to now find a solution. And that solution could look like, I'm getting out of this relationship, or this solution could look like, this person is this way and that is never going to work for me. It could then become like, I can't live with this person. Guys, this is what I want you to get out of this video is that those are your mind triggers. And that's why this practice of connecting is so really different, because it doesn't have you see it through what somebody is doing to you. It has you see it through that this is your mind being triggered by them. And guess what happens? So when the mind gets triggered in your relationship, it then tells you something about the other person. It tags them. It identifies how they are. It tells you that because they are this way, this is how you're feeling. And guys, what that does is that it perpetuates these negative patterns. And these negative patterns build up over time. And then you wonder, like, why don't you feel really fulfilled or really happy in this relationship? And what you don't realize is that your mind triggers took over. So the first thing I want you to do is start to identify your mind's triggers in the relationship. And how you do that is you notice what is your mind saying to you about this person. You have to see what is your mind saying to you about the person. You have to stop the action. You have to take a piece of paper and you've got to write down what your mind is saying to you about this person. What decisions have they made? What conclusions has your mind come up with? And until you do that, you are not going to let go of the negative patterns in your relationship, because it's going to keep looking like it's them. That's the first tip for you in this video, okay? Now, how do you manage that? Identify and manage the negative patterns. So now you see it, so now what? How do you manage that? Well, you manage that by becoming acutely aware and conscious that when your mind gets triggered, that it already has accumulated these beliefs about this person. Listen, if I tell you how many times I have to become aware that my mind has told me so many things about my husband and how he is, and it is me tearing that away, pulling that apart, refusing to see that that is true, because, and only because it's coming from my mind, that I can let it go. So how you manage that is you have to let it go. You've got to see that it's coming from your mind. And until you let it go, you are living with that reality like it's true about that situation and that person. And guys, I know you have evidence for it, right? I know there's evidence, because they do this. They are acting this way. They are saying these words. So how you manage that, and this is the tip, is you always relate to what's happening like it's not them, it's me. It's not them, this is my journey to see where my mind has made conclusions and assessments and decisions and truths about them. And that's how you manage it. And I know this sounds very, very strange, right? Because how you manage it may occur from the mind, like things to avoid, things to bring to a conclusion. But this is the thing, guys, until you can release the mind, you have no access to changing these patterns. Because when you can release the mind, and that is where this practice of connecting comes in, and you can tune in to this other part of you, only then do you hear things that are different. Only then do you see them through a different set of lens. Only then do you see, wow, really, they're really trying to care about me, and my mind is saying, like, I don't really care what you have to say, because 2 weeks ago you did this to me and now I don't give a shit. I mean, this is really what's going on. So how do you identify and manage negative patterns in your relationships? One is, you first of all see that your mind's going to get triggered in your relationships, and you want to write down what's getting your mind triggered. And then how you manage it is you let it go. And you refuse to have what your mind is telling you about the person be what you're relating to as true. So that's it for today's video. I hope you are taking something out of this video. I know it's a tough thing. It's tough to deal with the mind, guys. But until you start to see it, you're going to just be caught up on it. So listen, comment on this video. Tell me what you're getting. Tell me what you're hearing. Tell me what you're feeling about what you're hearing. And subscribe and like my video. You know, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll be posting more about how you can deal with your life by truly starting to see the power of your mind and the control over you and letting it go. And then really bringing forth the magic that happens when you start to live from yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye.